Go, King. He nervous and shit. Come on, boy.
Oh shoot.
All right. Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Four Times Dope podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kisharo, and I'm joined by three of the dopest dudes that I know that I think you'll enjoy and love to hear from. First up, we have my man Jamie, aka Mr. Stedman Graham himself.
Young Stebbin in the house. Do I give her like a talk or something? Because I can. Oh, they all froze.
Hello is fine. Next up, we got my man, I like to call Sir Charles, better known as Jermaine.
My shit froze. Sorry, y'all.
Sup? Happening.
And last but not least, I'm sorry, the man responsible for bringing this all together, Mr. Kwame Dukes himself, the man we like to call Kwame.
Hey, how y'all doing, everybody?
All right, so, well, before we even get started, I just wanted to say that I feel really good about this. Like, I'm in a very good space, and I'm glad to be sharing this space with y'all. Like, I can't think of, like, three other people that I would rather be doing this with. Like, I feel, like, really, really good about it. And ever since we've been talking about it, my energy has been, like, on 10. So I think we're going to do some really good things with this. And the feeling I get is just, like, Freaknik 1996, 97 all over again.
Hey.
That's the energy.
You got a feeling there.
That's us, man.
So the nigga
Right. So
the band is back together again.
That's another show. But
that's this
so I just
show.
wanted to say,
we're gonna talk about this.
Yeah, we will be talking about on this show. But yeah.
Somebody gonna get fired talking about that.
So yeah, I just wanted to say that because I've been, that's how I've been feeling. But so let me ask y'all a question. Think about the question now, trying to give you some background information. Have you ever been with a female, past or present, and you felt like pressure and expectations of just being a man? Just think about the question and I'm gonna tell you why. So me and Swan have been having this conversation like lately, not all the time, but it comes up here and there. And so it recently came up because we were like redoing my oldest daughter's bedroom, because of Corona, everybody got these little projects and stuff they're working on. So we were in there painting her room, and as I'm painting the room, I'm just like, I hate this. Like, I'm hating every minute of painting this room. Like, it was killing me. So I just told her straight up, I was like, right. So I just told her, you know what? This will be the last time I paint any room in this house. Like, I'm done. I can't do it. I don't enjoy it. So she was like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I am. So she was like, so you don't want to, like, take pride in your house and fix things and do stuff like that? And I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. I don't want to take pride in my house. What I'm saying is I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy painting. I don't enjoy putting things together. Right. I don't enjoy all these things you think a guy is supposed to do. So she looked at me kind of crazy, and she was like, really? I'm shocked to hear that. So I was like, most of the dudes I know don't enjoy doing this stuff. They'll do it, but they don't enjoy doing it. So I'm like, that's something more your dad's age group used to do and enjoy doing it, not mine. So I said all to say, have you ever felt like you've been put in that situation? Or do you feel like a lot of females put us in that situation, like they expect us to do these things just because we're guys? You know what I mean? Jamie, what you think about that?
Well, to start with, I haven't cut grass since 94.
Whoa.
So, when I was online, I had to cut grass, so there's a difference. However, as far as cutting grass at this house, no, we pay somebody to do that. As far as painting that room, we painted Madison's room. I didn't paint it. We pay somebody to do it. There's ways about things. If you want it done correctly, you pay a professional. You hire a professional. Mm-hmm. Certainly, you can do it. You have some time, but I mean, I want it done right the first time. Versus you,
Right.
you know, going back and forth. You don't know. You need a roller or a brush. What do you need as far as painting is concerned? You
Right.
need a bag thing or the mulcher. What do you need? So
Mhm.
as far as being a man, that's an old tactic or ploy to get you out the house to go do some shit. But not me. My lady taught me that. She's like, no, just get a professional.
Yeah.
You got a point. It's not my job. I could go find out. I could go YouTube it. But there's a difference between a do-it-yourself person
Mhm.
and hiring a professional. I'm more on the hiring a professional side.
I
Right.
concur.
Me too.
I concur with that as well. I can't think of a time. Well, I know I had that feeling before where somebody kind of made you feel like you should be doing something, I guess, because of a gender role. But how I look at it is like, yo, it's gonna get taken care of. You know, if I have to pay somebody to do it, it's gonna be done. So don't look at me crazy if I don't. I mean, some small things I don't mind doing, But like I said, I don't like painting either. I don't mind cutting the grass. I don't care about that. But like
You ain't cut my yard
doing
yet.
some stuff, huh?
You haven't cut my yard yet. You might not say that.
Yeah, well, that's true too. You got a place for your garden, I do. So yeah, that may it took me 30 minutes to cut my grass, and I live, so it's not such a big deal for me. But yeah, I'm sure I felt that way, whatever, and stuff too. And like I said, I realized a different generation as well too. So it's just like, yo, let's get somebody to do it. So that's where I stand on that.
Jermaine, what you think?
You know what? I think it's a lot of different moving parts, like to that whole scenario. In the first part is it depends on like the woman and the tradition of family she comes from. She may have been raised at in a fashion where by her dad, maybe even her mom, like, okay, this is what the man in the house needs to be doing. You know what I mean? This is what he should be doing this and the trash and cutting grass or whatever the case may be. Me personally, I've never really been put in a situation where I was expected to handle like domestic manly duties, but I have been put in situations where I was expected to maybe get the oil change and do all those things. Now, me personally, um, my mom coming from a single parent home, we were the men, her boys, we were just groomed to take the lead. But Kishara, I do understand what you're saying. And it's funny because I just had this conversation with my mom. I took my mom to Lowe's looking for paint. I'm getting some work done around my mom's house while I'm here. And I was like, this is not for me. Like no, for
I think
real.
I had an
Like
epiphany, didn't
It
listen,
ain't. It ain't.
I'm just gonna hire
Professional.
somebody. And Jamie touched on this. As long as that shit
Yeah.
gets done, you know what I mean. But
Mhm.
I get it. I think, and I think, Kasharo and Kwame and Jamie, I think with this too, this is something that we got to keep in mind. I think sometimes for women, it's more so of like the camaraderie type thing. We're doing this together, da, 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 da,
Mm-hmm.
da, that type thing. But honestly, in the back of our minds, we're like, shit, as long as it gets done. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call somebody to come over here and paint. They're gonna tape it off. They're gonna do the things that takes time, and we're gonna pay them to do it right. So,
Right.
but at the end of the day, I listen. Me personally, I'm calling somebody to get it done. I'm not painting anything in my house.
Right.
Hey,
And
hey,
that's
you know what?
exactly what happened today because we had somebody in here today painting this house because I was not doing it.
Uh,
Hey, you know what though? I think it's some other factors too. Like I think we touched on it. Like I think some of it's generational. Like you're saying, like I
right.
don't do half the stuff my dad do did like when I was growing up. As far as
A
like
third or quarter, nothing.
I do none of the half of the stuff. And he taught me a lot
Mm-mm.
of things to do and some things I know how to
Yeah.
do. And I can do them.
Right.
I don't like changing nobody's tire. I know how to change
But
a tire.
Mr. King didn't have no damn. He didn't have Google back in the day like we do. We just pull it
And
up.
Google.
Or YouTube. Or
He didn't have
YouTube
roadside
video.
YouTube.
assistance.
Pull up Google.
Yeah,
So
he didn't have
cash
none of
paint.
that.
They're gonna come by and drop off paint your house.
That's what I'm saying, yo. So we had
Yeah.
none of these amenities. Also, I think it may be kind of like where you grew up at and where you at. And I say that because it's like I know when I go down to my wife's home state, whatever, and the people I'm dealing with, and I've been talking to some of the people down in Louisiana, and I just be like, yo, dude, talking about they just put floors in and they just like build a whole
Yeah.
house, and I'm looking at them like, and they saying it like it's like
Ah,
cutting the grass. I'm looking like,
Yeah.
yo, you freaking
put in a
put all
couple
these floors
floors.
in, you put these cabinets in, and it's like it's no big deal to them. And I was like, damn, these brothers be upset with me then because I said I ain't doing none of that,
It
half
ain't
of
for
that.
me.
And fellas, and let me say this too before let me say this really quickly. And the thing with us is we are Not that we can't, because at the end of the day, if we had to do manual labor around
We'll
the
do
house,
it.
it's no
Exactly.
problem.
Exactly.
But we are like mentally, you know what I mean? We navigate through our lives, our worlds mentally, and I think at the end of the day, and listen, we can still get that house painted. We don't have to be like wood craftsmen and anything like that, but it can get done. Like I said, I think a lot of times with women, and even if women didn't come from that, if they're not cut from that cloth where the man should be doing these things in the house, I just think a lot of times women look at that as a date, so to speak, right? A different form of a date. We're doing this together and all that type stuff. So I guess it depends on how you look at it. But again, I agree with you, Cheryl. I ain't painting shit in my house. I'm calling somebody all day long. I'm calling somebody, cutting the grass too. You know what I mean?
But you hit on something real too. That whole part about doing it together, and I think they like that. And also, I know for mine, it's a turn on to her because I know when we first moved in the house and I painted that same room that I just painted a couple of months ago. She was like, "Ooh, boo, that turned me on. If you paint this room, they look good." So I'm like, "Okay, I felt good at that moment." But that was 8 years ago. But now I got 2 kids I'm running behind. I'm working. I don't have time to be painting no room. Like I just don't have the time. But what you said is also true. What all y'all saying, I need you to feel secure in knowing that I will get it done. You know what I mean? I know how to change the oil. I know how to change the tire. I can do this stuff. I just don't enjoy doing it. So if you okay with, as long as I get it done, we good. And she's good with that now. You know what I mean? It took us a while to get there. But it come with, like you said, how she grew up and what she was used to.
She want to see you sweat around the house.
Hey, Kashar, you sure she's good with it? Because you said she was looking at you funny today.
No, she was, because she never heard me actually vocalize that I would never do nothing else like that in this house again. So I think that part caught her off guard.
Gotcha, okay.
So she was like, all right, cool, and that's when I told her that, I can count on 2 fingers of my friends who actually enjoy doing stuff like that. I said, nobody I know enjoys doing this stuff. So I think she heard that, it kind of like, had her kind of thinking like differently, about it.
Well, you need to. Well, this is how I look at it. It's how do you want to spend an hour of your life? You don't get them hours back. I prefer to spend my hours sitting on the couch or playing outside or doing anything I would prefer to do versus painting a room or changing the tire. If if we're in dire need of a change, certainly we could do that. But if you just want me to paint the house because you just want me to paint the house, that's not gonna get done.
And at the end of the day, too, I mean, we can do something different. Let's cook together. You know what I mean? Let's do something synonymous, right? But because I think at the end of the day, it's all about comfortability too. Kasharo, myself, Jamie, Kwame, and listen, we're not comfortable doing it, then it is what it is. You don't want to get us in there and we're doing it and we're like complaining the whole damn time. You're like, damn,
it's a half-ass job. You did a bootleg job.
There's other ways. But at the end of the day, Kasharo, you just touched on it too. As long as it gets done, but we definitely can do something else. We can domesticate, do something domestic around the house that we can domesticate a room.
Yeah.
Right. Yo, I'm gonna tell you something else. What I realized too as I got older, and this might have been a thing where maybe come to age. Yo, I'm telling you what I hate more than anything else is moving. I hate. Don't ask me to help you move stuff. I'm not getting no boxes.
Well, I'm gonna ask y'all in a minute because I'm the next 3-4 months I'm moving, so I'm damn sure gonna ask everybody on the screen.
Yo,
say that right now.
Hey, y'all, he don't get it. He need to call some movers. He need to call some movers.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you. That's the
thing. Do you remember when you moved? And it was like 50 of us. They helped y'all. I think the last spot y'all living in Durham. It's Kashara, you and I was moving from Durham. It was like 50 of us. We moved in like 45 minutes. We had like 50 people out there.
Yeah, we was like 25. You know what I'm saying? That's the point I'm making. Like, I think we forget like how old we are now. And like I said, I had 3 knee surgeries since that time.
Damn,
I'm not freaking moving nothing. I'm to the point where if I know last time before where I move at currently now, I had put money aside. I planned for that stuff. Got movers to pick my stuff up, then go pick my, you know what I'm saying, my wife's stuff. Well, she was my fiance then. Pick her stuff up from her place to move to where we at currently now. And that was the best money I ever spent. Like I ain't gonna front. Like I said, I would never move again.
Yeah. And you know what?
Do it myself again.
I never like even when we moved from in the dorm, I just would throw everything away, iron boards and iron. I just didn't like moving. I still don't.
It was wasteful.
Yeah, I just didn't. I don't like
I don't want to spend that time not with no damn ironing board because it don't fit no car. Ironing board you got to put in the trunk and shit. Like,
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay,
go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say, so that's interesting. We talking about the expectation of what women think, some women, and their expectations of roles of what they think we should do. I was gonna flip it too because I think sometimes, especially in the Black community, I don't know this person firsthand. Guys, we do it to each other too, and I'm gonna tell you how. Because when I was my first job out of school, working at this place called CA Billing, it was a lot of guys who worked there, and I noticed that like when the conversations of certain, I guess, sporting events and stuff came up, I would get these looks, right? So let me back up. First of all, let me be clear. I ain't that sports dude. Like that's not me. Like when it comes to like statistics and history, I ain't that guy. I like to watch sports. I like to be in those environments. I know what's going on, but when it comes to like heavy, hardcore sports, I'm not that dude, and I'm okay with that. So, but that's 43-year-old me now, knowing myself. But 23-year-old me, going through that, it kind of made me feel like insecure. One specific incident, this guy, they were talking about sports. It was like NBA finals around this time. And one of the guys was like, Kishario, that's what he called me. He said, you ain't got nothing to say about the game last night? And I was like, nah, I don't. And so he gave me this look like, what's wrong with you? Like, why you can't give no commentary on it? So in that split second, I had like a moment, I felt some type of way, but then the other part of me was like, dude, why are you looking at me like that? Like, just because I ain't into sports that heavy, what you think I don't like women, anymore because I'm not into sports, or what Jamie used to call CUDA. Remember Jamie used to use that word all the time? CUDA.
yeah.
I think I looked at him and said that. And I was like, "What you think I don't like CUDA or something?"
Yeah.
And talk about sports. So he's like, nah, I just wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm just not used to it. So I saw that to say, I think sometimes we do that to each other too, because he made me feel some type of way. So I couldn't have the dialogue that they was having, about the sports. So I think we do it to men do it to each other too, in my experience anyway.
I think at the end of the day, we masculinity and combat sports go hand in hand, and again, that's part of a lot of our growing up, our childhoods. You know what I'm saying? Seeing these action heroes, and a lot of times dad wasn't there, so either a big brother or an athlete was the next thing, right? And then a lot of us, that's kind of like a way out of our environment, playing sports. So a lot of guys take it seriously, or whatever the case may be. And also, too, at the end of the day, I just think a lot of men equate being knowledgeable of sports or just loving sports as part of masculinity. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, listen, and we do that. And we got to be careful about that because every male doesn't like sports. I have family members who are men who don't like sports, but it doesn't mean that they're any less masculine. You know what I mean? I just think it's all about being aware of who you are and just being open-minded. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. 23-year-old me would have some insecurities, but 43-year-old me, I'm like, I don't care. I feel like so good. And like I said, I might not be heavy into it, but that don't mean I don't like it because I do like it. I'm just not heavy into it.
That's right.
Yeah, a peripheral thing, on the edges, on the fringe of it, which is, pretty common, fairly common.
Speaking of CUDA, I just had a thought. Jamie, you remember you and Tawana Green used to call Kwame CUDA lips?
What?
No, what? Damn, dog. Why you throw you out there like that, man?
Yeah, I know, right? I don't
Like,
know
how did you get that name, dude? What happened?
His wife gonna watch this podcast. Don't do that, man, like that.
That nigga trying to put me down the bridge.
I didn't say it, Kwame. I didn't say it. I don't recall ever saying it.
That nigga making it coming up.
Damn, dog. Just on the first episode.
God damn. I ain't saying that bad.
Either way,
I'm sorry, but go ahead, Kwame.
Either way, what I was about to say about the I think when you get older, you kind of just know what you like and know what it is, and you just, like you say, you're more comfortable with, with yourself and your own skin. So you don't really care what nobody else do, especially if you're taking care of your own stuff and your own bills and all that. But also, we have stereotypes, not even because ourselves, but women too as well. Like we have the expectation, and I'll say to a certain extent, as far as like, you know, how much a woman should cook and how they should clean and everything else and all that. And sometimes I have to catch myself and be like, well, maybe it's not the right thing to do and say because I'll feel some way if somebody did to me as well. Especially if this woman is working as much as I do or even more than I do, and then I'm questioning like, oh dang, she don't even cook and she don't even do X, Y, Z. Granted, I want my woman to cook, you know what I'm saying, but I also got to understand that some days that she's gonna be tired and she ain't gonna feel like cooking, you know what I mean? And I gotta be okay with that. And I think we flip it on women too as far as certain domestic stereotypes as well.
Especially, well, we gotta really locate things where we are and where we come from in the South from the '90s to now in 2020. Yeah, we've been conditioned to have our women, or we would like our women to cook every day, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not plausible with a young family. And time is the factor in all of this. It's like, well, how much time does she have to give up to just cook you some food when you could get it, someone to cook it for you, or you just go eat out somewhere. If you really, you know, expect her to do that all the time, that's just not feasible in the long run. The word is long run, because I mean, when you start dating, of course you're gonna cook her everything she can, but after a while now, real life kick in. When I gotta go pick up this child from so and so, and we ain't get no hot food today. You eat some leftovers.
Yeah, that's
So
real
we have
talk.
been
That's a valid point.
conditioned to believe that our women should be that person in the home. But just like we just suggested now, well, why you ain't out there cutting no grass?
Right.
Same thing, you know.
Work both ways.
Ain't cutting shit.
You know who we comparing it to? We comparing to mama, you know what I'm saying? And some things that is
Right.
good, because that's what you know our moms to do, to cook for us and do all this stuff, like I said. And
My mama cooked, but we went to grandma's house too, so there's a difference now. Grandma cooked every day.
yeah.
Mama cooked sometimes.
Yeah.
That's true.
But that's all some good points, and I think also it don't just have. I think it's an across the board thing, no matter what level you are, no matter what race, no matter what economic socio status you may fall under. Because I was reading something the other day on Twitter. It's my last point. When Chadwick Boseman had passed away, Clark Peters, the actor from The Wire and The Five Bloods, he came out and basically said that he judged this dude before he even really knew his situation. He thought he was like precious because he had all these people following him and massaging his back, and he was looking at him like, this dude don't let Black Panther, go to his head, you know what I mean? And not knowing that they were taking care of him because he had a condition. You know what I mean? So I think it's across the board, no matter who you are. We all do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, that's true. Yeah, we judge people, you know what I'm saying? We gotta check ourselves, you know what I mean?
That's that implicit bias, man.
Yeah. So, but anyway, speaking of Chadwick Boseman and his situation, I wanted us to also discuss like he was 43. You know what I mean? Like that's us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's our age group. And so I think it's really important now that we take a look at that and make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. As men, especially Black men, because back in the day, a lot of Black men didn't want to go to the doctors and get checkups. A lot of them still don't. But I think now, a lot of us are living longer, but I think we really need to take, our health into our own hands. And I really think we need to start, getting our annual physicals, getting that blood work, getting everything, getting your wellness check. Like that's really important. And I think, we should all do that. I know I'm guilty of it myself. And for me, I feel bad when like last year, I forgot to get a physical. I was just so busy. I'm used to getting them every year. I forgot to get a physical. And so now, with that happening to him, it's kind of making me like, all right, you got to remember to, do these things. So I think we definitely need to stay on top of that, So what y'all think about, getting...
I got a question for y'all inside of a question. How old do you feel?
Honestly?
How old do you feel, Kwame?
Man, that's a good question.
Right. Because in my brain, I feel like, if anything, 30. I might feel 30. Right. So going to get a physical, I'm 30, dog. Oh shit, I'm 43. I still look the same kind of sorta, but yeah, like I think it's coming to grips with the fact that that pain in my knee is not from me doing anything rigorous. It's because I'm old.
Older.
And yeah, just
Older.
straight up
Not
old. He's old. No, not that, I fell down. No, I'm old, just straight up old. So it's coming to grips with the fact that 43 does equal 43. It looks like 30, but
Mhm.
it's 43, dog. So going to get a physical and going to the doctor, it's like I'm indestructible. But we're not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because I go ahead, Kwame.
yeah, so I agree with you, Jim. Like sometimes you do kind of forget how like you think you're younger than what you really are, and then like I
Mm-hmm.
said, sometimes I be laying in that bed and then bones be there cracking and junk. Yeah, I'd be like, damn, what's going on? Or my damn freaking back feels stiff. My junk hurting
Mm-hmm.
all day, man. Like you
Take it down
realize,
because you slept wrong.
yeah, man, it'd be something as simple as that, you know what I mean? Or even the fact that you eat something at a certain time, now your damn freaking chest is feeling like about to pop out. You know what I mean? It's like, and this when you realize you're like, hey, I ain't 18 years old. I can't eat these damn nachos at damn 10 o'clock at night and think I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be up at damn 3 in the morning with freaking heartburn. So it's just like you have to really just kind of like, I mean, something like I said, it deals with health. Like I said, I'm pretty sure if somebody's definitely in good condition and good, what I'm saying, take care of themselves a whole lot and health wise, they might have less issues with that. So that's part of it. But also I think it's part of it is also your age. You know, you're saying you're not really as young as you think you are when you really kind of sit back and think about it.
That's
Mm-hmm.
true. That's really. So when the last time y'all had y'all physicals?
Mm.
Y'all know when
40.
y'all yearly checkups are?
40.
I had like honestly, I'm about like you, like two
Is
years
yours?
ago. I think the whole listen. I think too, and this is no excuse, man, but like it's just crazy because the grind will take you away from normalcy. You know what I'm saying? When you out here trying to grind and make things happen and connect these dots. But we got to find a way to put health at the forefront of everything. I know for me, I just try to stay as active as possible. You know what I'm saying? Change, eat right, um, and just you know what's helped me too.
I also you
Honestly,
good about that too. Like you always been that way though. You always been kind of active. Dude.
yeah, and I think as I get older, I more so look at it as a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? There's
Mm-hmm.
days like today I didn't want. It's raining like crazy down here in North Carolina, my mom's, but I am, and I mentioned this to my sister a while back, and she kind of had a different perspective about working out too. So for example, I like to think of it like this: when we have a headache or we come home we're tired or whatever the case may be, when we feel that way, we still brush our teeth at night or in the morning, whatever the case may be, because it's a lifestyle. And I just try to look at it like that. I try to invest in myself and just be as active as possible. I may not be playing in these 80 flag football leagues anymore and moving 100 miles per hour all over the place, but I am active as possible and just trying to, and also to staying away from negative energy because that actually deteriorates your health as well. The fussing and the
Mm-hmm.
arguing and the toxic relationships and it can be friends, it can be social. So I just try to be mindful of like who I give my energy to too, because that's a part of our health. That's our emotional health and our mental health. So, but as
Mm-hmm.
far as the physical, I mean, yeah, definitely. When you hit 40, as black men, because we don't like to go to the doctor. We don't. We do not like going to the doctor for whatever reason. But anyway, it's definitely it's important. And I'm gonna tell you something else too, fellas. It's important that we actually encourage each other to get these checkups and stay on each other too about our health. You know what I mean? Especially
Right.
when you guys got kids and we in it for the you have kids, you in it for the long haul, right? So
Right.
definitely got to keep each other, hold each other accountable for that, or just period. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just period.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. And ladies too, they gotta do their part. Like to encourage us and hey,
oh yeah,
if they
definitely,
have to go with us, like go
Mm-hmm.
with us too.
definitely, I
Right.
agree.
You definitely get encouragement. But let me ask y'all something. So being that we are in our 40s, do y'all know what the highest, what the most, the silent killer of black men is? What disease that is?
It was a heart disease.
Still
Obesity
heart
or heart
disease?
attacks?
Heart disease, ain't it?
No, prostate cancer.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh wow.
So with that being
Prostate cancer.
said, how do y'all feel about getting that test? Because when I turned 40, I was terrified to go get a physical because I was thought the doctor's gonna have to stick his hand on my butt But then when I got there, he was like, "No, you don't have to do that anymore. You can wait, till you're 45." So, how do y'all feel about getting that prostate exam?
I don't feel good
All
at
right,
all. I don't want to do it.
45. Okay, great.
I don't want to
Jermaine,
do
your
it. Period.
microphone.
Point blank. You know what? I hope it's a different form that they can use to do that. I mean, what man wants to, like, at the end of the day, like, I don't think any, nah, I don't want to do that at all, ever in life.
No,
Exactly.
But,
gotta
you
be
know,
done.
I live too.
Yo.
That's
And I don't think anybody want to sign up for it, but in the day, it's like, you know what I mean? You hear stories about people, if they actually did it, how it can be preventive and
Yeah.
of certain stuff if they went ahead and took those screenings, and how that whole situation might have been different. So when it comes to, yeah, you just want to do it for the hell of doing it, I don't think anybody want to do it. But if you're trying to live, you know what I mean, then you might not have no choice but to do it.
Yeah, like you said, that you want to live, but they say now, like I heard, the lesser of the two evils, I guess, is when you go get a colonoscopy, of course they can sedate you, then they can stick a tube up your butt and check that way. So I'm just like, either way, I don't want that stuck in my butt. So if I had to do it, I'd rather be sedated to do it than not. So
Yeah.
yeah. So, but anyway,
Push that off to 45, man.
well, you got 2 years on me.
All right.
They'll be here in a damn blink. But yeah, but I do
It's
want to.
already September, y'all. Wow. Like,
I know, right? But why I can't commend both Jamie and Jermaine. Especially like when I talk to Jermaine, a lot of times when I talk to him, either I hear him leaving, going to the gym, about to go to the gym, or doing a run, or eating fruit, or doing something healthy all the time. Like it's definitely you can tell his lifestyle, running the marathons and the 5Ks and stuff and everything and that kind of stuff. Like he's been doing a really good job at that. And I say with Jamie, every time I turn on IG, this nigga freaking damn riding about damn 30 miles. I'm like, damn, I'm on my bike. I do like damn 3 miles. I'm about to die. Like you know what I mean? So I'm dead serious. They be like 3 miles. I'm like, whoa, I had a good day today.
Yeah.
I
got my 3 in.
That nigga did like 30. I was like, damn, I'm not even close.
Keep doing it, man.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Yeah, I gotta be
But that's good. Like you said,
And you know what?
gotta continue to encourage each other.
That's right. And we may need to all get some bikes or something, man, and start pushing each other on certain days. We get out there and we hit it, we get to it,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? And I think that's important. And Kishara, you just said it too. Yeah, the ladies need to motivate us to do some things too. But I think at the end of the day, we gotta hold ourselves accountable, and we can hold each other accountable. You know what I'm saying? I think you know what? I think we're close enough for us to say, hey man, you need to get your shit together. You know what I'm saying, man? You need to
At this age,
like for real. I think
I
we
agree.
all, that's right. We're close enough to where we can say that. But but that's another topic though.
Well, I'm asking you, what do you think hold people back from actually doing it? Like as far as being like staying healthy or having a healthy lifestyle. Like what do you think is the number one reason why people may not do it?
well, it's a few things. Let's start with, you are who you already are, right? So you think you can't change because you're really who you are at 12. Everything else you just add on top of that. That's the first thing. Like, well, I can't change. I love doing it this way. The other thing is, this is how my friends do it. And I don't want to look like an outcast. I don't want to feel like I'm not with the group. So I stopped eating meat 3 years ago. And, the conversation is, you don't miss it. It's like, no, because all it is flavor. If you eat a piece of chicken with no salt and pepper or any other spice on it, then you're a savage. Because eating it with the spices, what you're after. You want the flavor. So once you realize mentally what it was I was after was the flavor, then okay, it's a game. So it's a huge thing to do with, one, who you were as a child. You don't think you can change. And two, you want to follow. It's a herd mentality. It's like, well, I don't want to do that. Now, few of us pop out and try it and call it a diet. But like you said, Kwame, it's a lifestyle that you need to approach and call it as such, because if you don't change and be consistent in the change, you just wasting your time, or you buying time when you work out, but then you go back to eating, a big old steak after you work out.
I'm not consistent.
Yeah. That's what I said. That's the key word, consistency.
I'm not
That's
consistent.
what it's all
I
about.
do this for a month, 3 weeks to a month, and then some maybe the slightest thing, and I'll be like, I just throw it all away. It's crazy, yo. So
Right.
I got to be more consistent in what I'm doing. And I think, like I said, I feel like I slowed down, like I mentioned earlier. And I've been using this, I didn't say I'm using an excuse, but like I said, with the whole need thing, like it's something I really push myself. That jump me really like giving me problems and stuff and everything. It takes me a while to kind of get back going, but I got to figure a way around that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely what's up, man. So
Okay. Well, speaking of living, you know, and all that good stuff, let's take it back to our college days real quick. So, Kwame, what was that? I can't remember the question you asked me the other day. You asked us the other day. What was the question again? Because I don't have it in front of me. Like, what do we feel like we got from college or learned?
Yeah. Like I said, we for the people like who don't know, like I know we all know each other, whatever and stuff. But like I said, we all met in college. Well, I guess well, Jamie, Jermaine, and Kashara met in '95, and I met them in '96. So I'm a year behind them. And a lot of our good days, and you know what I'm saying, as far as just being in school, like most other people, you know, you enjoy your college days and everything else, and you learn a lot of different lessons during that time. And the question I had posed was, what's one thing or a couple things that you felt like you learned in college that you still hold true to your day, like it still stick with you to this day?
I would give you a quick one, and I'm gonna let y'all chime in. This is real simple. If you're trying to get someone's information, or you're trying to like really impress somebody, get their name and use it a lot.
Get the name and use it a
So
lot.
somebody's in. My aunt taught me that when I was trying to get into Central, because I met Kasharo. We was trying to take the damn ACT to get into Central.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
my aunt told me, she said, look, my aunt Ray, she said, look, when you call these people on the phone, that's when you had to get on the phone. When you call them on the phone, make sure you get the name. And when you hear the name, write it down so you can keep referring back to the name. And then, ask for who you're going to ask for and get their name. Just always get the names and refer to the name, pull the name out all the time. And it got me so far at Central. I mean, I was calling to admissions. You had to call to get the score. What was my score?
Mm-hmm.
We had to call and what's the lady's name? She died and they named the dorm after her.
I see her face, the light-skinned lady name.
Yeah, because she's the one that actually
Older
let
lady.
me in. Oh, I got accepted in Central a week
She let
before
me
classes
in.
started.
Yeah, she let me in too.
She said, baby, your scores are 21. I think we need to get a 16 or 17.
Yeah.
I remember the number being 21. That was my football number. And I was like, man, I blew it out the water.
That was your number? That was my number too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we talked about it. K21 Easterling at Hotmail, fool. So
yeah, you gave me the email.
I got, hit him up. You can hit him up. So I use that, and I called the lady. I said, man, speak to Miss, I think Miss Rowland, Nancy Rowland.
Rowland, yeah, that's it. Nancy Rowland.
See how the names come out of the sky? I said, man, speak to Miss Rowland. And then, she's like, hey, baby, yeah, I'm just trying to get my score. Yeah, you got a 21. And it's because I wasn't fumbling around for who I was looking for. So that one small little thing helped me through those. I was there for 7 years, y'all. 5 undergrad and 2 grad. So I got around that place for 7 good years because I just used that one little rule, which was when you hear that name or ask for the name, remember that name and pull from it.
And let me piggyback off what Jamie said. And real quickly, I want to talk about Miss Nancy Rowland too, just for a second. The last book that I wrote, I actually dropped her name in there. Matter of fact, on the same page where I think I mentioned all you guys, where I talked about the people who actually helped groom me and helped me to become who I at that point who I was. And
that's
with
the first
her,
book, right?
Your first book. Listen, I got accepted
right
in
here, but upstairs.
Oh, okay. I got accepted in Central a week before classes started. And
yeah,
I remember.
A week before classes started. And listen, my sister, I remember going to take the SAT, but even before we went to the admissions and I took the SAT, we went to Miss Nancy Rowland's house. We drove to her house in Durham, pulled up at her house, and we talked to her in her living room. She told me to come back tomorrow. It was during the week. Meet me at the admissions building at such and such time. My sister got me some Miami subs, and she told my sister she had to leave. You can't stay here with him. You gotta go. He gotta go upstairs and take this test. I took the test. Mind you now,
Uh,
I had a football scholarship in another school I won't name. They said I missed it. When she was like, well, your scores are good. Um, pay the fee for the application, and it was a done deal, right? And here's what I
right.
learned at NCCU, and I even tell my students this, man. I've learned a couple things, but I learned the power of networking, right?
Mhm.
And I learned the power of
Mhm.
networking and how
Yeah.
important it is to like solidify at every level of your life, like solidify social circles, like tangible social circles,
Mhm.
not like the most popular ones
Yeah.
or the most fancy ones
No.
or the prettiest ones, like people who you can actually reach back and say, hey, we met such and such time. This is what I'm doing. Do you want to be a part of it? And also, I've gotten those calls. I just got a call 3 days ago about doing an implicit bias training. Hey, I met you. I know you lecture this, you teach these courses. We want you to do 2 2 hour implicit bias training courses. Anyway, my I've learned that working is huge, man, and like making these tangible connections. Even living abroad, I still have folks now who still shoot me emails in regard to coming back and lecturing at these schools because I just made these dope connections. So that's just one of the things I learned at NCCU.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me, I I learned a lot being at NCCU, but I guess just to kind of piggyback off what both of y'all said, I think the biggest thing for me, I don't even know if this is a lesson, but I was told before I went to school that friends that you make in college, those are gonna be your lifetime friends.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that rings so true to me today. Like the relationships that I built, like my core friends, I'm proud to say I'm
Mhm.
still friends with these same people, 20 plus years later. That was like they
26.
yeah, like y'all family now. Like it's just not like that's just so true. That was the biggest thing I can say I took away of many things, but that's the biggest one to me because like I said, there's another show, but yeah, my friends became my family. Yeah, so that means a lot to me. So yeah, that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing for me.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, you're
Dang.
pretty generally good, but even not even just your core friends, but just people in general. Like you keep up with people pretty well, Kashara, like checking in on them and making sure they're okay. And
Yeah.
I'd be like, damn, how the hell you know that person? How you still talk to that person? You'd be like, so you do really good with that, keeping contact with people. I must say that, which is a hard thing to do because we all got our own lives to get busy. You know what I mean? And it's not even purposely done. It just happens that way. And and then you kind of just fall out of contact, whatever, with people sometimes. Yeah.
What about you?
Um, I think like it's funny. This stick in my mind, and it's so like crazy was having having brand new underwear and a brand new undershirt, like underclothes, which
What?
which I thought was like the weirdest thing at the time. But it
Okay.
was. Do y'all remember like when your freshman year they used to have like those orientation for lectures and stuff, for like freshman lectures or freshman orientation at B&D,
Lyceum series. It's called Lyceum.
license.
Look to the left, look to the right, because everybody ain't gonna make it.
Right.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
So like, damn, you like what?
Real.
Yeah,
You ain't
so
lying.
you're definitely right about that. So so one of the speakers, he was saying like, yeah, when you put like on brand new underwear and underclothes on, and how do you feel? And I thought it was like the craziest thing. Didn't make sense to me. And but I guess when I further set along with it, I don't know if like when you have like new stuff. I ain't talking being materialistic, but in the sense of like you got like a fresh pair, not necessarily underwear per se, but like I said, but just pretty much like you have the confidence in yourself to kind of feel like how you look good, you feel good, you got a fresh haircut, you got a nice suit on, you got a nice outfit on, whatever. I think that brings an actual a level of, I don't want to say swag, but a level of confidence that you have. And I think he was using it on the most basic terms, which it didn't sound, it sounded crazy and it makes sense to me at the time. but I feel like it holds some truth to it. Because I mean, in the day, like I said, if you're going somewhere out of town, whatever and stuff, and say that if I was going, I'm shoot some going to California, Miami, or Vegas, and if I flew out there and didn't get a fresh haircut, I would feel kind of like
Right.
I want to feel like myself. I feel like I'm not a little bit inadequate. You know what I'm saying? Even this for something leisure. So that would be the same thing if I'm going on an interview. It'd be the same thing if, you know what I'm saying, if I'm trying to make any major moves. So it's almost like those simple things, you know what I'm saying, as far as just trying to making sure that, like, basically if you dress and feel better, then you're going to perform better. And that's what
true.
you're saying in a roundabout way.
You look good, you
It
feel
still
good.
holds true to this day.
That's true. I agree with that.
So that's one of the things I felt that I learned. And like I said, that's one small thing out of many. We learned so much, but that's one thing that stuck to me at first.
Yeah.
Listen to you talk about that, and like, I guess like a fresh outfit and fresh whatever. You remember you remember the time you wore that short set?
Yeah, I had like I had like the damn matching like Nautica's damn freaking freaking shorts, but like the shirt I was matching too well. And everybody
Jamie was Jamie just wanted to see. Jamie called you out.
I blew up his spot again. My bad, dog.
I do remember that though. Yeah, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was on the yard that day. It was like a 10:40 break, and I feel like
I thought you was fly too.
Hey, dog, did the shoes match the socks match the shirt?
I thought I was in the yard killing that jump, boy. I looked at myself, I'm like, I'm not too damn well. Yeah, that jump was crazy, man. I look like a damn fool out there.
I remember that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, man.
All good. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is now?
What time is it?
Is it time for dopeness?
Yeah, not quite. It's time for a daily dose of dopeness. So, yeah. So for all our listeners, first-time listeners, this is going to be a segment of our show where we highlight, people in our community, whether it's like clothes or businesses or whatever it is that we feel is dope. We're going to highlight, that person. Each show, we're going to highlight somebody, and it's going to be our daily dose of dopeness. So today, our listeners, y'all can't see this, but I found this book for my daughter called Be Fearless. And it's about this little girl out of Texas. She's 15 years old, and she's a millionaire. She's a millionaire.
Millionaire? Oh, like
yeah.
Okay, I mean,
her name is Michaela Umer, and she started her lemonade business at 10, and it started because she got stung twice by bees, and so to take the fear away from it, she tried to do something to help herself, and so what she did, she started a lemonade stand, and somehow, once you read the book, I've been reading with my daughter, I haven't got through it yet, it's really good. The bees help make lemonade, which I didn't know that. And so what she did, she started her own lemonade stand.
The pollinated lemonade.
Yeah. And she started her own lemonade stand, and the local stores in her area noticed of it, and they wanted to sell it in their own stores. And so it grew and grew and grew, and then she ended up on the show Shark Tank.
Oh, wow.
And one of the guys on there invested in her business, and now her lemonade is sold like in 1,500 stores across America, like Whole Foods and Fresh Worlds and places like that. And so I happened to be listening to Issa Rae one day because I love Issa Rae, and she was talking about her, and so it made me want to go get it, because I'm raising girls, and so I thought it would be a good motivator and encouraging type book for them to see, girls that look like them, to see what's possible in this world. And I think it'd be a good book, not only for little Black girls, but for boys too. So I wanted to highlight Michaela Umer, Be Fearless book. So if you guys want to go out and get that, I would do that. You can also find her on IG at Michaela.Umer, and also her website, BeFearless.com. So she is my daily dose of dopeness person I wanted to highlight today. So again, every show we'll be highlighting someone who we think is dope, or an item that we think is dope, or what have you. Any questions about her, guys?
That's I mean, good information.
No,
That,
I
so,
love it, man.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
10 years
Yeah.
old,
So,
millionaire?
So she got
yeah.
a production deal. This is a lesson in marketing because, of course, y'all, she doesn't make the lemonade. She just basically sold the rights to her name or her likeness,
A brand.
and that made her rich.
Her brand.
Her brand. There you go. One and done. So now everything she touches outside of that turns to gold. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Good
man,
team.
for real.
Salute, young queen. Salute.
Right.
Out here rich.
Exactly.
Off
That's
the
nice. That's
bees.
what's up.
Exactly. So, if nothing else, brothers, that is a wrap. Listeners, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. We want you guys to tune in again. Also, before we go, we want to encourage all you guys to vote. If you haven't registered to vote, please go and vote. Also, complete the 2020 census. I think you have until September the 31st, I think it is, to complete it. But if not, you can go to 2020census.com to get that information. So that's it,
All right.
unless you
All right.
guys want to say anything.
That's a wrap, y'all. All right.
Wrap.